Hey, this is Elias from the band Nonpoint, and you're listening to the Nothing Shocking Podcast.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dogbowl Studios is
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. Like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter at NoShockPod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking Podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Ragged Records, located in downtown Rock Island, Illinois, and downtown Davenport, Iowa. We'd like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guest is
Elias Soriano from Nonpoint.
Yeah, promoting the Emerald Cities Tour for this March.
I think so.
And then some festival dates in August, correct?
And maybe some new music coming this year.
Yeah, we're looking for it maybe late 2023, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, let's get to that interview.
All right, good night.
Good night. Elias, welcome to the Nothing Shocking Podcast. I'd like to introduce you, my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Elias, thanks for joining us tonight.
How you doing, Jeff?
Fantastic. Well, you had a great press person that referred you to us, so we are so happy to have you on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, Sean is the best.
She is. She truly is. So let's get right into it. You know, Nonpoint just announced the Emerald Cities Tour for the month of March of 2023. Can you talk a little bit more about the planning of this tour and what can the Nonpoint fans expect?
They can expect the unexpected from what you're used to with the band, honestly. We've decided to go big or go home and really are stepping up on production and making the experience and, you know, even something as simple as just walking around the club in between bands, something fun for concert goers.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, the tour will also include Blacktop Mojo and Sumo Psycho. Can you tell us a little bit more about the recruitment of these two dynamic bands to open up for Nonpoint?
Yeah, you know, we've played with them in the past and have, always talked about doing something again. And they're both high-energy bands and amazing performers. Also, too, they were stoked about the theme of the tour and wanting to be a part of it and get involved. So, they're part of it being that all-immersive kind of experience. So, it's not just coming from the perspective of our band. It's like a one unit kind of experience.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Jeff, you got the next one?
Yeah, I mean, some of my favorite shows that I like to go to is, when the band gets done, the guys come right off and come out to the crowd or their t-shirt stand. And so can you just talk a little bit more about you kind of alluded to it, but your interaction with what to expect when somebody comes to your show?
Well, it's what the fans are going to interact with just outside of the music. I guess without giving it away, because I don't want to give anything away, you're going to have to go to the show, to see. But, when you walk into the venue, think, Twisted, Wizard of Oz, Kansas Sideshow. and when the lights go out and the stage lights up, you're in Oz.
Nice.
Oh, very good. The Emerald Cities tour is primarily in the southern half portion of the country. Can you tell our listeners when you plan to get up to the Midwest area? Because we're kind of itching to see you guys.
Yeah.
And
that's actually in the works right now. We're going to do every single corner of the country with this package. Well, at least the theme of the tour. I can't guarantee that it's going to be the same exact lineup, but I do know that many bands are reaching out wanting to be part that are equally as good. And I believe a couple of the bands that are on this package are going to continue on.
Oh, very good. But as far as when you talk about facility and venue size for a tour like this, what was the I guess the tour management looking at as far as booking shows at what size of venue?
Well, we go where our fans and our numbers, our streaming numbers, and our touring history leads us, and then we go where the offers as well. We're getting offers from new markets that we've either never played or are emerging markets. So having an agency like STG and Eric, showing us where he sees those markets growing and those rock markets growing. Of course, we want to get into those new markets, but we fill a majority of our touring with where we get our highest streams and where we sell our the most tickets, of course.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Well, kind of the opposite of that, we just were talking to a guest last week, and they kind of brought up the subject of like post-tour depression or post-tour letdown, where you come down off the road and then you're like, oh, what do I do now? Has that ever happened to you?
Not so much. So, when you've been doing it as long as I have, you look forward to getting home after a long run. I guess, when you haven't toured for a while, maybe. I definitely got that during the pandemic, I guess. But it's nice to take a break from the touring because, if you've seen our show, we don't stand around. It's not doing that 5-6 times a week. It's a sport.
Yeah.
So, we try to take care of ourselves. But, it's still at the end of the day, it still takes its toll on the body. So to get home and to get rest and to see your family, to sleep in your own bed and drive your car, watch your shows, instead of satellite, which goes in and out because there's a tree parked next to the bus. It's like silly shit like that you deal with, or, being able to poop in your own toilet, for the first time in, 6 weeks. That it's the creature comforts that I look forward to at the end of the run. So post-tour depression, not me, sir.
Hey, that's all right.
Well, we had Kelly Lemieux of Buckcherry on last week, and he's so embedded in touring that they go so much that he said there is this like little bit of a letdown when he gets home because after day 2, he's like, what am I supposed to do now? Type of thing, So I guess everybody.
No, I get that.
Yeah, every artist is different. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we give so much on our shows that it, for me, I really enjoy that break.
Oh, very good. Well, the Emerald Cities tour is geared for the United States. Will we ever see this version of the tour hit South America, Europe, Asia, anything like that? Is there any plans in the works for something like that?
Well, the goal of this tour is to more than just sell the package, but to sell the theme of the tour and for people to really, get into what we've always wanted to do production-wise, so that way we can repeat it. So if we can take it overseas, of course we will. Yeah, obviously that's costs and and things that we have to consider. So we want to make sure that it's exciting enough and requested enough to make that physical investment and commitment to our overseas fans. Right now we're getting back over there in the fall. We're hitting Germany and we're hitting the UK with 2 festivals. We're going to fill in dates in between. We're getting back over to Australia. So now that the pandemic has kind of, tucked itself away a bit, and travel is a little bit easier to navigate and not be so concerned about being, stranded somewhere. We're starting to venture out and make those plans. And if we do get that kind of request and that kind of momentum with doing this show and this tour here in the States, we definitely plan on, reaching out to our set builders and our merchandise people and our production teams overseas to start helping us build out this show over there, so that way we can bring it over there for sure.
That is so cool. Yeah. Well, you kind of alluded to going over to the UK and Germany here this fall. What I believe that is it this coming August, Nonpoint will be performing in the UK at what festival is that you're performing at?
I know one is Bloodstock. I forgot the one that we're doing in the UK. If it leaves me, I apologize. I'm the worst with it. We just received 2 other tour routings today, so I have a million other venues and festivals in my head right now. So I would hate to be misquoted.
Oh, very good. With that being said, as far as touring opposed to, I guess, touring festival-ish type of touring, where is your mind at, or a preference? Do you like doing the whole festival touring circuit, or do you just prefer doing it the traditional way of venue to venue for your show, headliner, or whatever it is?
I'm a fan of the moment, to be honest with you. And those times, you never know when they're going to happen. I've had some of my most magical moments in my career in some of my smallest showings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One time I remember we played a venue. It was in California. We found out later that the city had an ordinance that venues weren't allowed to advertise at street level. And this was years ago, during a time where, social media really didn't have that kind of, reach. It was really still about, radio ads and those kind of, literally putting flyers up on telephone posts. But I remember the Friday before, Nickelback had just played the same venue. And I believe it was 78 people showed up.
Oh, wow.
And then we played the following weekend, and I want to say we had 40.
Oh.
And as soon as the show started, it was almost like the audience expected the turnout because they were so excited to see the band. And as a unit, we had talked briefly before we walked out on stage, and I looked at the guys and I was like, I'm going to fucking bring the audience on stage. And Rob was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring them up on stage, man. Let's just let them fucking come up on stage. There's plenty of room on the stage. The stage is gigantic. Let's just let them circle around us, man. Let's have a good fucking time. And they were like, yeah, let's do that. So I walked out on stage and I'm like, hey, why don't y'all just come on up? Just coming up on stage, come on. And literally they surrounded us. And it was one of the coolest experiences that I ever had. And then completely on the other side of that spectrum, I remember playing in upstate New York at the K-Rockathon. And it was us. I remember Papa Roach was on it, Slipknot was on it. It was so many massive bands. I think the number that night was 80,000.
Oh my goodness.
And the crowd was so thick and so far back that I couldn't see the back of the crowd. It literally arced up and arced down because it was such a swell of people. And I just remember that was the day that I realized how measurable the energy that a crowd gives when it's all pointed in one direction.
Yes.
It's almost scary. Yeah. It's like the I don't know if you've ever read any Dan Brown books, but there was yes. I believe the book was The Symbol. It was a book about the Freemasons, and they were talking about how there was a secret that all the Freemasons and the Knights Templar had been keeping secret for decades and centuries and so on and so forth. And it was the fact that you could take many minds and point them all in one direction and actually alter, create, and affect matter, physical matter. And that they hold that secret, and that's the big underground secret that they're holding. God, I hope I don't die tomorrow. Hey, if I do, then you heard it here. I don't want to commit suicide, for the record. But they, that having that kind of like effect on someone, because it's just 5 dudes standing on a stage with 80,000 people all focused on you. It is heavy.
Oh, very good. Very cool. I saw you guys had a new single in 2022, Paper Tigers. Are you playing? You have any other new songs you're going to be debuting out on your new tour?
Yes, the next tour we are debuting a new song. I don't know when this is going to be released, but I can say that it's going to be in February, okay, for sure. And it's a pretty intense song. It's down the theme of what we're doing with Emerald Cities and the whole Tin Man character that we brought in with Ruthless and the Ruthless-EP. People could hear from the very beginnings of Nonpoint the Wizard of Oz influence. I have the lyric in What a Day where I say tap your heels home, and this whole theme of not only the music but feeling like we're in Emerald City sometimes, and a bit of traveling around Oz, dealing with angry trees throwing apples at you, and, flying monkeys picking you up and dropping you off in strange places. That it's a bit of a fairy tale that we live in.
Oh, very good.
And we hit all these cities, all around the country, and some sparkling and beautiful, and some barely hanging on, and the people at the end of the day are the same. We're all just trying to create our own story and to fill that hole that we feel like we either have in our intelligence or in our heart or in our courage or in our ability to be grateful for things as valuable as home. I speak about it a lot in the music, and to be able to use that whole story as a metaphor across so many bodies of work that we're going to release in this independent cycle is exciting. It's really exciting. So the next song is really going to take it to another level and dip everyone's toe even further into the concept, so that way people really start to see what we're trying to create here.
Oh, so
Nice.
exciting.
Yeah.
I guess with the Nonpoint having so many studio albums, how do you and the rest of the band form a set list for a tour? Do you sprinkle a little extra songs here and there on different nights, or is it, I guess, business as usual when it comes to making a set list?
No, it's always dependent on where we're going and what we did really last time, because like you said, we've traveled so many miles and done so many shows for our fans. We have to be mindful about what we're presenting in our shows, because they've seen quite a bit of us. I have one of my fans, Nathan. I believe he's on his 300th Nonpoint show.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so because fans travel far to see our band, and we make sure that we give them what they've been waiting all year to see and to sing along to. But at the same time, too, we know that they've most likely seen that. So, we change it up as much as possible. And then there's places like, Taste of Madison, where, they give us an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. So we're able to play 22, 23 songs in one night.
Yeah.
And really give our audience. We do it in Fort Lauderdale, where we play extended sets, where we get that love. So, we always tell people, and the Nonpoint mantra for decades has been, to tell a friend, because the more you spread the word about the experience, the more people that, you help get into the door, the more we're going to keep visiting, and the more we're going to be required to change it up. So if you didn't hear it this time, there's a 90% chance you're going to hear it next time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Jeff, you got the next one?
Well, yeah, we were briefly talking about the Ruthless-EP. I love the song "Back in the Game," but then I discovered I'm a covers guy, and so "When Doves Cry" by Prince. Boy, you guys nailed that. Can you talk a little bit about that, the choice of covering that song, and kind of what went into it?
Yeah, we left it up to the fans during the pandemic. Had a little bit of time during the pandemic, a little time to burn. And we had been asked for so many years after In the Air Tonight what our next cover would be. And, when we were sitting at home, we started tossing around the idea. And I'm not even exaggerating when I said we at one point had 60 songs that we were on the list.
Nice.
So we tapered it down and cut that list in half by rating all the that's the best way to do it, by the way.
Yeah.
Just rate each song and then do the math, add up all the votes. And then we got it down to about 34, I believe it was. And that's the ones that we went with online. And then we just let our fans pick.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
So we put up the brackets, and then we started the battle. And it was, it would be, Jay-Z versus, or the Fugees versus DMX. And then it was the Eagles versus Fleetwood Mac, and it was Metallica. It ended up being at the very end. It was Metallica and Prince.
Nice.
And I knew it was. I'm kind of glad that our fans chose Doves, because it made us work just as hard as we did with In the Air Tonight, because there were like 5 or 6 versions of In the Air Tonight before we were just like, before it just happened.
Yeah.
We had tried so many different versions, and every single one we were just like, ugh, it was too much, or it was too rocked out, or not rocked out enough, or too much like the original, or not enough like the original. It was like every single gambit of that song, we were this close to giving up on it. And then I remember Rob and Ken think it was Ken that started the bass line, and then Rob started the beat. And then we that was it. It was like, okay, we know where it is. And we built from there. And the same kind of thing happened with Doves, where we tried many different ways, and we couldn't do it just one way. So that's why the song turned out the way it did, because we liked it slow, but we liked it picked up.
Yeah.
And in any other producer scenario, I would almost guarantee that idea would have been shot down. It would have either been this way or this way. And luckily we were independent, because we literally looked at each other and said, let's just do both, because they both sound great. So let's just do that.
Awesome. I want to hear you guys do a version of Love Removal Machine from The Cult. That song is killer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I want to see you guys do that one. That one would be a killer.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on here. The Poison Red is my favorite Nonpoint album. I guess with Chasing White Rabbits is my favorite track from you guys. Can you talk a little bit about that creation of that track? So awesome. Such an awesome song.
Yeah, it's funny, because that's one of the songs that really, really got Spine Farm excited about the band initially. That song is down that same kind of theme, that fairy tale theme that I guess I see our lives being right now. It's people say all the time, it's like, hey man, you're living your dream, and that's not a lie. To be able to do what you love and to wake up every morning and feel blessed, it finds its way into the lyrics quite a bit. And during the Poison Red, there's an interesting time, because we were going through our final, what we thought was going to be our final lineup change.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit of a roller coaster getting that record done and out, because we got the deal, and then we changed guitar players before we started writing the record. So it was a conversation with the label asking, hey, can you do this record? And I was like, yeah, I have no problem getting the record delivered. So, Rob and I both knew that we've done it in the past with other guitar players. So we didn't have an issue with getting a Nonpoint record that people would love written. And then we got lucky with BC, jumping in, and then the second half of the record really started to come together nicely with him then involved.
Oh, so cool. Very cool. You got the next one? You want me to take the next one?
Yeah, you guys, I think, have four live albums. I think the most recent was a 20th anniversary type show. Can you talk a little bit about, do you enjoy making the live albums, or is that something that's just kind of you do out of contract, or just how's it work for you?
Well, we do it when we can celebrate either magic moments, amazing towns, or benchmarks.
Yeah.
And this is a massive benchmark for us to be.
20 years is awesome.
Going this long, and for our fans to still be excited about our next steps. So that's really when we decide to do it. It's all about timing and really knowing that we're going to get something that people are going to want to see over and over again. Taste of Madison in front of 15,000 people is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I guess when it comes to new Nonpoint music, the world of releasing music is so different now. We're seeing now it's singles, and now we're doing EPs as opposed to full-length albums. I guess where are you and the rest of the band at when it comes to releasing new music? Are you still that traditional album-oriented band, or do you prefer going to the EP format? Where are you and the rest of the band at when it comes to new music?
Well, we tapered back to the EP format because it was just faster for us to get product into the marketplace, and that's really what it's about for our fans. And when I mean product, I mean entire product. There's nothing that hurts you more than spending time at the merch table and hearing, you know, your fans go, God, I wish I would have heard this song on the radio, or yeah. God, I wish you guys would have released this song, or this song, this B-side is my favorite Nonpoint song, and people next to them go, oh really, I never heard that one. It's and you know, that the attention that each song needs in order for it to get its you know, full picture drawn by the artist. I feel like it needs a little bit of time, and each one should get at least a little bit of attention. So switching to an EP format, you saw that we were able to you know, put out lyric videos, put out live videos, put out a full video, and you know, every single song on that last record and that last EP was represented in one way or another with a video. And I couldn't have done that on a label.
Yeah.
I never would have gotten that accomplished on a label. So because of that, now I realize that fans, it's obviously it's different for me, but fans love to see that full picture drawn from our perspective. To get that understanding is just going to give them a deeper connection to what we're writing, because you know, at the end of the day, it's about my story that I'm telling that invokes an emotion that then invokes a memory of theirs. And then that's when the connection happens. Yeah. It has to do with them hearing my story and my details that I can only paint. And then for them to go, this is how I relate. And if I can do a video, or if I can give a little bit more promo, or if I can say, hey, we also have this song on the EP as well, as opposed to just saying, hey, here's my new record with the new single, like this is the only and most important song on the record. It's I feel like it's unfair to the other music and to the fans to just to not say train them into listening to the music that way, but denying them the opportunity to hear the full story from the artist just because, you know, you feel like it's not worth spending the money on.
I get it.
Yeah.
The one thing, though, that with the EP versus the LP is that with the EP we just lose the deep cut off an album. And I miss that. Don't you, as a fan?
As you know what? I don't think that records will ever go away, but I feel like I'm not going to be the guy arguing how I miss CDs when streaming is just streaming. I'm not going to win the battle against the marketplace.
Right.
And right now, the battle in the marketplace is my 12 songs on an LP seeing the light of day, as opposed to my fans going, yeah, I love this whole body of work, but I'm going to listen to this one song. And I could tell that's the thing, is that we can all see by the streamings, by the streams, what gets attention. And I guarantee you, I can see that when given the attention to each one in some way, those always perform better, as opposed to a full-length record that I spent 6 times the amount of money to release to make the same amount of money on one song.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Totally understand that.
And for me to be then in the position where I have 12 amazing songs that I'm not pressured into this year because I dropped a record last year, I got to drop another record this year. The thing that I loved about Statement and I loved about To the Pain, two of my most critically acclaimed records, is both of those records took 2 years to write.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
took 2 years plus to write. Now, could I have written them faster? Yeah, probably. But would they have done what they did? Most likely not, because it took 2 years for them to be critically acclaimed, and I've done plenty of records in 3 months.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's like, you want to rush creation, or because I could give you one really great song in 3 months. I could write a bomb-ass song if I get to craft something amazing and really just give it all of my time. But, I have a family. I have touring. I have the business side. I have interviews. I have, breakfast with my daughter. So there's a million other things that I have to balance. And if I'm going to give that time to a full body of work, it's got my name on it forever. I want to give it the time. And now that I'm independent, we see that there really is no rush, especially when I'm dropping songs like Ruthless or dropping songs like we're about to drop right now and Paper Tigers that get this kind of reaction.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
We have one last question for you, then we'll leave you alone for the evening. Deal?
Sounds good.
All right. So, a question I ask every artist. The mystery of rock and roll. With the internet, social media, there is no more mystery of rock and roll. There is no more Kiss. There is no Led Zeppelin anymore. There's no Motley Crue anymore as far as secrets go. As you as the artist opposed to you as the fan, what do you like more? Do you like the mystique, the mystery of rock and roll, or do you like this new accessibility that we have? Because if we didn't have the internet, we wouldn't be doing this with you right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and with that comes no ill towards the universe. It holds no ill towards me, and I hold no ill towards it. So, this it's something that's meant to be. So it's okay. It's okay to be accepting of it. And to enjoy, the change of the industry and the change of what it is. I am more accessible. I can actually speak directly to my audience for the first time and really get perspective. At the same time, too, I'm overexposed, and being, something as simple as a misinterpreted quote can end a career these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
But something as simple as a funny viral 7-second video could gain me 1 million followers tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, what I have learned in the 20 years is being fair and trying to be a good person is the smartest play, because then you'll find yourself at least in a good position when you fall.
Yeah. Well said. Well, we're out of our allotted time for the evening. Is there anything that you would like to plug or promote that we left off tonight?
New song is dropping in February with lots of plans, and maybe even hint, nudge, nudge, guest singer on it. And the Emerald Cities tour, leg 1 of possibly 3, hits in March. We'll see you in summer. In fall, we will see you in Europe and overseas. And at the end of the year, I would say we're probably wrapping up Emerald Cities.
Oh, very good. Well, this is how things are going to work out. We're about 4 weeks behind on our episodes, but we're going to get this thing released right before the Emerald Cities tour starts. So we're going to look at it like right after Valentine's Day, so we have plenty of time to promote it for you guys.
That's perfect.
Elias, thank you so much. We'll have this out to you right around Valentine's Day. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you.
It sounds great, man. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
You're fantastic. Thank you. Take care.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
If they ever take from you, then you plug out.